All right, today I'm going to do this little painting or study or sketch of a this painting by Stefan Popowski, and I think I just came across it online, and I'm gonna just take a scrap piece of paper or canvas, I should say, and I'm gonna just block it in. But I love tonalist paintings, and one of those things that often think of doing them, but haven't gotten around to it yet. So doing them and studying them, I think, like this may open the door for me to maybe jump into them one of these days. So I'm gonna gander into this painting. It reminds me of, like, Burge Harrison had some wonderful paintings like this. Emil Carlson did. They're paintings that are just so beautiful and moody that I just would love to be able to spend some time doing. So anyway, that's probably what's going to happen. Who knows where this will lead, but that's the beauty of studying work that pushes you outside of the things that you're even known for doing. Like, I'm known for doing, obviously, still lives, but I've done landscapes, and I actually show them in a gallery up in Vermont. But again, if you're trying to, I mean, you can study anything, really, and be inspired by it. So, all right, I'm going to build the palette here. I'm going to try some Prussian blue because I've got it out already, and I'm just going to pop it on there. That's actually Payne's Gray, which could be nice. But let's see if I can build a palette here. I don't think I'm going to need ivory black. Let's get some titanium white out here. And then definitely a lot of blue. I may see if I can find my Prussian blue. There it is. Also got ultra. I think Prussian is probably a better one for what I want to do here. Put some out. These are alkyds. Just been testing them out lately. I think they're good for studies, and they kind of get sticky and tacky a little bit faster than oil paint does, but they're some, interesting version that's in between acrylic and oil. Oh no, it's starting to fall already. All right, let's get that. Pull it over here. And if I need more oil, I'll get in there. All right, let's start to kind of pull some of the colors down and get this thing going. So I feel that there's purples in here, and even at the beginning sometimes I'll just begin to take a look at what I see and then begin to just put some notes in. I usually go for the darkest dark, and then from there you can kind of build the painting because that's kind of like an easier thing to be able to build out of. And ivory black could be the darkest dark, but I'm also not gonna, I'm not gonna like make it the exact perfect same tree. I'm trying to get the essence of it, and therefore even something like that is kind of good enough for me. So there we go. Take this, bring it over, a little bit more black. I feel like the color choices right now, like the values, feels like it's pretty good. And it's hard to tell without this painting in front of me, because these, depending on how it was photographed, could be the way in which I'm perceiving it now. So it's possible that even some of these colors are not even the way that I see them, So, that's one of the reasons why I say with this stuff, you have to take it all with a grain of salt. because who knows if we are how close we are. This thing could fall apart if I saw it in person. So I see this pushing a little bit more purpley. I'm going to just push it over there. Now this is a easier part, I think, to just get at the beginning, because what it will do is it's going to allow for to get this to go nice and, get that moonlight to kind of glow. And, it's something to just keep in mind that, I usually enter into a painting in the easiest part. The easiest part for me right now is just the dark is dark. But again, these are wonderful ways, these small little paintings, to just warm up to something. And if you don't get it the first time, don't be discouraged. Get back in there and do it again. I learned that in sports, that I wasn't the best athlete, but I probably tried harder than anyone else. And, I used to stay late and work at home, practice, see what you can kind of do. And, from there, that's when you'll just get it. If you don't give up, you will get it. Don't worry, you will get it. You work harder than everyone else. Sports, that's a hard nut to crack. Even if you work harder, there's still an amount of, are you athletic enough? And anyway, for painting, this is just as long as you stay open, and I think continually strive to get the concept, you will get it. Just my 2 cents on that. Perhaps there are examples of people that have never gotten it, even when they tried it. But I would still continue to keep striving to get it. All right. Let's get this darker in here. Yeah, this is wet into wet, so it's harder to get this to arrive to the destination that you want it at. So I'm having to kind of put wet into wet paint over the top just to get it darker. And that's, look at that. So the only way to get that darker now is to go like black out of the tube. What's funny is there's definitely people or teachers that say don't ever use black out of a tube and all that crap. And there's just been a ton of them. And every time I come into classes, I have to kind of debunk them. Because I'm like, no, it's, if you put that on people, just like don't ever, always warm, cool, or don't use black out of a tube. I mean, the black out of the tube is one, I was just told that Monet never used it. And it's like, there's evidence that he used it in his paintings. Leo Mancini Huresco and I did a whole talk at the Griswold Museum last year. And we showed David Bomford his notes from when they did, they were dissecting the paint, not dissecting them, but they had chips from the painting from usually the edge, and they could tell what the colors were that were in the, that Monet used, and Monet certainly used black. And then when you start to look and you see all the Impressionists did use black, even Sargent used black. And it's like, oh wait, we've been told. And it's like, yeah, well, you've let that concept hold you back from using black. Whistler used black. Monet used black. Sargent used black. Cecilia Boo used black. They've all used black. So anyway, there's definitely reasons why you could or should not. But I think you should find out why and not just put handcuffs on you as to like, well, I heard. And it's like, well, that's fine. Because sometimes I say like, well, I didn't get the memo. and if you don't get the memo, sometimes you don't have that little thing holding you back. And that's what I would just say. I encourage you all to do your own research rather than just take things as people say them. Find out the resources, this beautiful thing with even, the internet now, or being able to cross-reference and find out where that echo came from. That's actually what the talk was, or the opening part of my book in the color book, what I was talking about is that, they're echoes from the past. Why did they say them? They usually come out of a concept if you're going to do it. So don't use black is a concept. There's a Renoir quote that I was able to kind of pin it to, where he says, one of us ran out of black or left black in the studio, and all of a sudden Impressionism was born. But that doesn't mean they didn't use it. And it depends on the painting in which we're talking about, So I encourage you all to do your own research and begin to kind of look into, use it. Use black. Find out why. Most people say it because it dirties colors up, but it depends. It's a wonderful low chroma purple blue, and if you use it that way, then you're fine. All right, so this painting looks pretty, monochromatic at the stage. I think once the yellow is added in there, it's going to help it, but you can even go a little bit more impasto if you want to, and you can see that this color then begins to kind of dance as it comes towards the moon, and and then we can kind of bring these colors. There's nothing wrong even like keeping it loose, almost like Starry Night or something like that. Starry Night wonderfully was inspired, I think, by a Millet painting that he had done that was also called Starry Night. And it's wonderful to kind of see the connection between artists painting similar things and then someone doing their own version of it, not a copy of it, but inspired, All right, let's get some more of this. Prussian, I think that deep Prussian blue is also what's up in here, which kind of cuts this up right here. And you could do it in any way you want to, like maybe just right up in there. But that just surrounded by the glow of the moon is what makes that. It's beautiful. But again, if you do this once and it doesn't work out, do it again. Crack the nut. You will crack the nut the more you try to master these things. And sometimes the longer it takes to crack it, or have the desire to get good at these things, will make it deeply embedded in your psyche, and therefore you'll probably have a better payoff. If you did this one time and you got it, maybe that's just boring. All right, I'm gonna clean the brush. Prussian's a tough one to work with because it gets all over the brush, and it feels like it stains it. But all right, let's get this deep color in there, and then it goes a little bit more towards orange as it moves out. Feels like it just sparkles in there. All right, and then get a little bit of there's like a little pink in there too. It definitely feels like this moves towards a purpley blue as it kind of dances through the whole thing. Black. Purple. All right, let's get a little more black out there. There we go. Black is a either semi-transparent or semi-opaque color. Depends on the manufacturer. Not all these colors are all the same. You can make any color almost opaque if you want to. like that. Just apply it thicker. That's why Munsell notations to me don't help, because who the heck paints 0.5 millimeter on everything? Not I sure as heck don't. I don't know anybody who does. It, I'm usually after mark making, and I wouldn't paint so thin as to always paint 0.5 millimeters. Maybe somebody will. Maybe that's why it's useful. But also, who the heck wants to paint that way? Most ateliers and painters do not paint that way. I don't know why there's been a weird resurgence or interest or even talk that artists do that stuff, because we don't. Not that I'm speaking on behalf of all of them. Silly, though, my opinion. Most artists think it's like, why would you want to be so mechanical? Look at that. And then just spackle it on and bring it through. All right. Then maybe you start to see like hints of colors, like just pinks, you know. I'll just see if I can like drizzle it in through. So I usually do a lot of palette knife paintings for galleries. And you know, I could see something like this translating over. I don't do versions of other people's paintings, though. I don't encourage anyone to ever do that. Every time I see that, it's cringeworthy. Or in the same pose as something. It's a ripoff, if you ask me. But I would encourage everyone not to do that. But inspired, like if you want to go do like a nocturne or something like that, I think that would be kind of interesting way to be inspired by something like this. And then the light kind of dances through off of the clouds. But this ends up being just a quick little, like a warm-up even. So if I were to do a bigger one, you could certainly have extracted something from this, and then like maybe you want to come back and now do a longer one. I find that if I paint the same subject a couple times, I feel like I know it better. This could be one of those times. Sometimes you don't know if it's good or bad until later. So don't judge it and leave it. It's a study. If it stinks in a week, throw it away. But don't throw it away right away. My 2 cents. like a way it kind of feels like it dances through it. Anyway, I mean, to me, that's kind of the essence of it. Maybe there's maybe you want to keep going, maybe you want to just leave it, but maybe just a couple marks more. All right, I think that's good enough. Again, interesting, almost abstraction of it, and that's really what the poster or master sketch is. The poster study and the master sketch are like the same, and that's what I encourage everyone to do, is to let go of this sense of copy. It's not what this is about, and get into studying the abstraction. This is what Arthur Wesley Dow talks about in the Nocturne, and it's not about like who can copy something the best. There's people that are way more skilled at that than all of us. That's all they can do. Lean into the expressive side of it. That's what I say in your stories, because we don't need another world's slowest printer, in my opinion. It's not what painting is about. All right, get that one couple marks and call it a day.